Welcome to Top of the Key. I'm Nikki Fargas, president of the Las Vegas Aces. Today we're talking about the race for the WNBA MVP, the players who are putting up big numbers, leading their teams, and making the strongest case for the league's highest honor. Joining me are Carolyn Peck and Krista Blanc, and we're breaking down the front runners and what's driving their success. Okay, ladies, you guys ready to get started?
Let's
go.
All
right, let's start with A'ja Wilson. A'ja Wilson has consistently put up 25 plus a game and double figures. Why is she a front runner for the MVP?
Well, when you look at the Aces, Nikki, and how many players they lost from last season and bringing so many new to the team, she has been the constant, and she has helped elevate everyone around her while still putting up MVP numbers like she did in her 3 previous seasons when she was MVP. So I think that because of that, of what she's done with her team, who now has had to build from the ground level to where they are, I think that puts her in that category.
Yeah, I think she's a no-brainer for me. Obviously, she's the reigning MVP. There was a reason for last season, and she has just picked up and even improved areas of her game this year. But the workload that she carries, as you've talked about, as a leader, it's the things that she does off the floor as well. I mean, the numbers are ridiculous and speak for themselves, but it's all the extra things that she's done in weaving in these new players and really being a leader for them and helping them and guide them to help them mesh with this group.
And when you think about leaders, let's talk about the leader for the Minnesota Lynx. Let's talk about Napheesa Collier and how impactful she is to her team.
When you look at Napheesa Collier, and she's barely over 6 feet,
Yeah.
and she plays against some of the best centers in the WNBA and is able to put up points not only in the paint, but she can pull the bigs out, shoot the three, and then her defense of what she brings for Minnesota. I mean, that's one thing that Cheryl Reeve always demands is defense, and she has always said, you're only as good as your best player's defense, and Napheesa Collier, she sets the bar.
Yeah, I'm with you. Every time we do their games and I'm updating my numbers and information for her, I do a double take every time. She's 6'1". She plays so much longer, so much bigger at both ends of the floor against the bigs, and then she can bring them out, she can shoot the three. She's also an incredible leader. She's a vocal leader. She's kind of a team mom to this group. I love that part of her game too, but her numbers this year too, really speaking for themselves.
Well, when you think about size and this person, as far as height, isn't the biggest or tallest player on the team in the league, but she's one of the most dominant player, and that's Alyssa Thomas. What she has been able to do, a triple-double threat every night.
Yeah, Alyssa Thomas is, if there is a unicorn, maybe she's as close to it as you can get. There's nothing she doesn't do. And as you said, I don't even know, is she 6 feet even? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Runs the point, guards the point guards, but could also go in and guard your big if you needed her to. I mean, it's just incredible. And when you say triple-double, there's no doubt. I mean, she just puts together a string of triple-doubles, and who's done that? Nobody. It's just remarkable what she does.
And the thing about AT is that when the game's on the line and you need a bucket, then Phoenix knows they can go to Alyssa Thomas. If they need a big rebound, they can go to Alyssa Thomas. If they need a defensive stop, they can go to Alyssa Thomas. I don't know that there's anything really that she can't do. She's able to produce, and remember, she's got 2 torn labrums, and that doesn't slow her down.
And I don't know if I've seen anybody shut her down, really. I don't know of a matchup. I can't think of another player that's really caused her problems to the point that she hasn't had a solid line. You know, maybe the rest of the team didn't match her, but she's always so consistent.
And I'm not taking a charge on Alyssa Thomas.
No, you got to stay out of her way. But another player that you got to stay out of her way is Alicia Gray. She has had such a phenomenal year with Atlanta. Talk about her play.
Well, the thing for me with Gray is you talked about new parts, new pieces. They added some new pieces, and I think they were exactly what she needed. But that doesn't make it simple, but it's actually made her game even better. She's figured out, how do I use a Brittany Griner? I can figure this out. What do they need from me now? And she's another one to make the decision. Am I distributing the ball? Am I scoring the ball? And she does both. I'd love to see the growth of her game.
I think now everybody knows Alicia Gray's name. And so she has put her game into the headlines because of how she plays, the intensity that she plays with, her ability to get downhill, and you have to respect her from the three-point line. So she's now found the balance between pulling the trigger and attacking the basket. And two, she's another one of these players, because I think in order to be MVP, you got to play on both sides of the ball. And I think that Alicia Gray does that as well.
You mentioned playing on both sides of the basketball. a player that has always consistently, when you think about efficiency on both sides of the basketball, we've got to talk about Nneka Ogwumike. She has been efficient her entire career.
Nneka has, through her whole career, I don't know if there's a player that has strung together so many seasons shooting above 50%. And this is not just a player that plays in the paint, but she's knocking down the three. She's got a mid-range jumper. She is deadly in that two-man game with Skylar Diggins. Just in constant, steady, I mean, like even keeled, and just goes about her business carrying that work pail, put her hard hat on. Nneka Ogwumike goes to work.
Well, she does. And you talk about smarts and just basketball smarts. I mean, you know she's smart after graduating from Stanford, but she's brought it into the WNBA. I mean, her basketball IQ is ridiculous, and just the timing. And she's a quiet player to an extent. She's typically not somebody that's going to be complaining about things. She just does her job. And her numbers shooting from the floor look like free throw numbers,
right,
or what some people would like to have as their free throw numbers, because it's that consistency that she brings. And you said, though, she'll bring it at both ends of the floor. You can rely on her as a teammate.
We were looking at other players to talk about in this MVP race, and we talked about a little bit about Breanna Stewart. But for New York, MVP for them, or who's putting up MVP play, is Sabrina Ionescu.
I had to think about her because as I looked at New York, you know, without Jonquel Jones for a big portion of it, for me, she's such a key piece to this team. But in getting her back, then losing Stewie, who's been the consistent player that's brought numbers across the board, and that's been Sabrina Ionescu. I think her numbers and her game, she just looks like she's having a good time this year, too. She's having fun. We saw her at All-Stars. I'm really liking what she's bringing now.
I think that since the Olympics and since New York dropped in the championship game against the Aces, she really went to work on her defense. And I think that puts her into the conversation. We always knew that Sabrina could score the basketball.
Right.
Now, she's had to carry a heavy load when you talk about Jonquel and Breanna being out, but it's not just on the offensive side. Defensively, too, I think that she has upped her game, and I think that has put her into the conversation.
Well, Carolyn and Krista, that's a wrap. Let's look at the season's MVP race on top of the key. A big thank you to Carolyn and Krista for sharing their insight. As the regular season winds down, the spotlight on these players will only get brighter.